Welcome back everybody to Tesla Driver. I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be going out in a new car. Now this isn't my car, this is Tesla's own car with the latest software that they have lent me to do some videos in. So huge shout out to Tesla for doing that. Oh, and look at that, Autopilot slammed on for those people. That's an interesting start. It recognized people quite close to the road, but yeah, obviously they weren't actually on the road. So we're going to bump it up to 50 and do basically the ultimate autopilot test in the new software. And as you can see, it is insanely bright today. I cannot see really a thing if I look up. Obviously it is insanely bright, so this is a great test for the autopilot to see how it works going into sunshine as well. Now I'm sorry that there's no camera down at the dashboard down here for you to read this. The reason for that being is that this isn't my car, so I didn't feel that I could stick a camera down there happily and it be safe. And you know, I didn't want to put basically some sticky stuff on somebody else's car. Sounds wrong, but I just mean about the camera. And yeah, so I've got this one here and obviously the camera on the left side showing us that. Now we slammed on a little bit there for that car that cut up across the road, and I'm not sure if maybe this is because of some of the it's getting some kind of trouble with the light, but it has been braking a little bit earlier than normal, which is interesting to see. So we're going to be testing this on A roads in a town and then on the motorway. So this is obviously the A road to Marlborough. It's slamming on again and now it's going forward again. It's kind of off and on, which is a little bit strange. And I've just noticed that my tire pressure is just popping up as well. So the tire pressures need sorting out. Like I said, it's not my car and I'm only borrowing it for a few hours. So yeah. Anyway, up this hill, it's doing it absolutely fine, keeping us nice in lane. It is so bright, oh my God. But that was absolutely fine. I'm gonna bump it up to 60 as we go down this hill. And we're now onto a nice straight road. Being overtaken, not a problem, but does he lose the lines at all? No, he hasn't lost the lines because of it. But we're just cruising behind it nicely. So this new update, this is version, let me just get the version for you so it's exact, 2019.8.4. So this is the newest version here in the UK. We don't have any of the lane changing stuff that you in America have, or like off-ramp departures and stuff like that. We don't have anything like that, so it's pretty much kind of like it was before, except it's way smoother. Now obviously I drive a 2017 Model X with hardware, I guess it's called 3 in it, but it's for Autopilot 2, and this actually has hardware 4 in it. So I believe it's like the F computer or something, but yeah, it's got hardware 4 and it's running the latest software of Autopilot. So this is ready for Autopilot 3.0, which hopefully will be coming this year at some time and allowing full self-drive, but we know that Tesla aren't always great with their timing, so we'll see about that. We're now going into Marlborough, which is obviously a very famous old town here in the UK. This is Marlborough College, the school, and I actually went to school here in Marlborough, so I used to do this route every day for about 7 years, and yeah, I came here every single day. So let's go through. Now we got these zigzag lines here for the zebra crossings, but it seemed to do that okay. And now we've got a really tight right bend here, and yeah, the car didn't want to do it, so it was going to turn way tighter and cut that corner completely. So just having my hand here completely stopped it doing that. And Autopilot doesn't want to start up again on this road just yet. So I was going to go straight on, but there's roadworks that way, so I'm going to take a left and go this way. Now Marlborough actually, I think it's the widest road or the widest high street in the United Kingdom, and it is massive, but there's parking down the middle. And apparently, like in the olden days, there was no parking down the middle, so this was massive down here, which is quite interesting to see. But I don't know if it's going to pick up Autopilot. Oh, it actually says it will. Oh, it is, okay. I'm actually going to keep Autopilot myself down to 20 though through here. It is a 30, but I don't want to do 30 down here. So we're going to go down and do 20 and just see how it does, because obviously you can see from this how wide the road is getting, and I don't know what lines it's reading. Is it reading the ones on the right? I think it's reading the parking lines. So we're going over there a little bit now. I've got to pull it over because it was just getting a bit too close to the parked cars. So I think it was trying to read the car parking lines there to Autopilot around. Oh, slamming on. I think the i3 on the other side of the road there picked it up as if it was on our side of the road. Okay, autopilot was available, then it got taken away very quickly. And we are going to go left here, actually. I'm just going to hook around and go up this way. Now, the reason I went up here is exactly for this. I was hoping that autopilot would kick in on this road. Is it going to? Is it going to? No, it's not going to. But it did think that I was not noticing that car in front, and it decided to do a chime there to remind me that there's a car in front. Okay, autopilot is now on. And I want to test it up this hill. Yes, it does work. Okay, because on a hill, obviously, it has to work perfectly. It can't roll back or anything. And it did that absolutely fine. And it's following this car in front nicely. Now we're gonna miss the middle lane here of the road, or at least it is there, but it's very, very faded. But it seems to be okay. I think maybe because there's enough of like there's a little thing in the middle of the road that it's reading. And it looks like now we're gonna have to take control and go around the car in front. And then we're gonna be getting onto another A road from Marlborough onto Swindon. But we might be stopped here for a while. With the town complete, we're now gonna head onto this A road all the way to Swindon to then jump onto the M4. So this A road is quite a nice road in terms of it's got a nice speed to it, it flows quite nicely, but it does have, especially halfway through, it does have loads of dips in the road, and it literally goes like that. So I'm intrigued to see how that works. You can see that the lines are slightly faded in the middle as well. There's no lines on the left, so it is maybe a little bit tougher, but it seems to be holding quite nicely. I'm actually going to set my car to 3 lengths, or 3 car lengths behind, or 3, whatever the setting is, and see how that keeps us. That's about the right distance in my opinion. And we're just gonna follow this Mondeo and let the car do as much of it as it can. It was really good through town. It picked up things that I honestly didn't think it would do. Okay, we're coming into a 30, so I'll go down to 30. And cruise on through here. This never used to be a 30 though. This used to be the same speed all the way through, I believe. But this gets a little bit tighter here. You can see that the pavement has come up as well, so we've got a pavement for reference. But yeah, we get these, like you see these little dips, these get a lot more extreme in a minute, so I'm intrigued to see how it does through there. But considering it's got faded lines and no lines on the left, it's doing this nicely. And we've got a couple of tight corners coming in now. So again, there's no middle line really. It's just the cat's eyes with some super faded lines. There you go. You can see the speed change there. So it used to change there up to a 50. And now it changes to a 50 over here. So wait till we get into the 50. Again, it's not changing the speed limit by itself, which is kind of annoying. I really wish it did that, but again, that's something to come hopefully in a future update. So I'm gonna go 45 around these corners. Okay, decided to brake there, so it slammed on a little bit. I think because the lorry was blocking maybe what it could see around the corner, it didn't want to risk it. And it's taken that corner very nicely. Like, that was super confident, no problems around tighter bends there. Again, no problems at all around the tighter bends. And after this one, we can speed it up a little bit and it becomes a 60 in a second as well. So that's quite good. So we can speed it up here. And then we're gonna be getting into this 60 zone where the road goes a lot straighter in a minute after one kind of very tight left turn that's going to be coming up. The road then straightens out but does the very big wibbly wobblies, I think we used to call them when we were kids. You know, they make your belly rumble and stuff. Yeah, that's what's coming up, so let's see how that handles it. And previously here, I actually had issues like years ago when I first got my Tesla. My Tesla always went down there, and I could never figure out why, but they've now put a line there, and it doesn't go down there anymore, so that's quite good. So yeah, after this kind of long left turn here, which the car is slowing down to take. I assume it's because of the car in front. And we now get a left line, which is going to help us out. We've just pushed out. You could hear there that we were in the potholes, whereas now we're not in, sorry, the drain potholes. We're now not in those because of that left line, just pushing the car out slightly, which is quite interesting to see. So the line definitely makes a good difference in that sense. But I'm hoping that it'll do this road without any hiccups. And we've got this guy in front regulating our speed for us, which is quite good. But previously, whenever I've done this road, because of how it goes up and down, and the road slightly dips to the left, so you can see that it kind of all dips into the left, the car has always hugged the left side so much that I have to abort it constantly because I'm worried that it's going to hit trees or stuff. So hopefully it doesn't do that. But you can see this is just a blind kind of verge there, and then we go all the way down. I know the camera doesn't seem quite as extreme as what it is, but that there was a really big dip down. And for some of this, you know, you just can't see over these little hills. In fact, what I'm going to do is, just so that we get a better view of that, I'm actually going to pull off from the car in front. I'm going to set the car to 7 distance away, which is the furthest distance you can go. Again, we're going into some of those wibbly wobbly dips where we go up and down, and like here, for example, you can see that you can't see over this hill at all. So the camera now, or the car, must be guessing at what's coming up. But it did it really well. It not even like brake on, off, or anything like that. It just did it really smoothly. Whereas before, the car would go like that. It wouldn't make a noise. I don't know why I made the noise. But the car would literally almost shake it, like it was scared about what's coming up, and you would have to abort it unless you had balls of steel somehow. But again, this is a really nice straight road. This is probably more of the roads you guys would see in America. Did you see the car at the end overtake there and nearly collide? Like all the way at the end. Just scrub that back on your on YouTube and check that out. That was so close. I don't know if the GoPro can pick up that distance. But this this drive is super nice actually, and we're not getting any problems with it. So with that in mind, let's do a Easter egg. Rainbow Road has come up. And we've got that weird music. More cowbells. And I can't turn it off. I don't know what the cowbell bit is even a reference to or what it's from, but yeah. Let's turn that back off. Oh, it's still playing the music? Are you serious? Do I have to like play something? Okay, it's just gonna play the song again. I apologize, I shouldn't have put that on. There we go, it's better now. So yeah, it's done the A roads fine. As long as the A roads are straight, it seems good. And as long as you take the corners at a slightly slower speed than you probably would do in your own car, you're gonna be pretty good, and it's worked really nicely. So now what we're gonna be doing is coming down a hill in a second, and we're gonna be going onto the motorway. So I'm gonna tuck back up behind this car now, set my speed back down to 40, and just cruise on through here. It broke nice and early. It wasn't slamming on with that car in front or anything. And it's just slowing down behind this car. I think we might have had a learner pull out in front, so everyone's slowing down quite a bit. I'm gonna tuck up for this bit, because I know normally there's quite a bit of traffic down here, and I don't wanna leave like big gaps. I wanna be quite close. So I've now changed it to 1. So that's the difference in 7 and 1. It's not massive, to be honest. I would say it's a few car lengths, but you would always want to be further back, obviously, when you're driving at the higher speeds. But it's following these lanes nicely. Yeah, it was a learner that pulled out. And as we come down this hill, I'm intrigued to see if it gets us into a lane. Oh, there's not much traffic. Normally the traffic is all the way up here, but the traffic actually is just down to there, so that's not too bad. and let's see how it brakes. I want it to be smooth and, you know, relaxing braking, because mine doesn't do it relaxingly at all. It really slams on. But that was really nice. Like that, comparing just the braking to my version, this version is so much smoother, it's so much nicer, and it just worked like way, way better. So we're coming off here and we're going onto the motorway. Sadly that bike isn't coming onto the motorway. That would have been a really quite cool test. But let's come down onto the M4 here and engage autopilot. So autopilot is on. It's saying that it's a 60 down here, I guess because it's on the slip roads. But yeah, we don't have it now, so this won't actually come onto the motorway for me with no problems. I'm gonna have to take control. I hate it when people do that last minute to try and overtake on these slip roads. But there we go, onto the motorway nicely, and I'm going to engage autopilot straight away. But oh my god, we are getting some pretty crazy glare right now from the sun. It's saying that we can't go because of the lorry in front beside us, but now the lorry's letting us go and the car is indicating and pulling out nicely. That worked really, really well. So the car in front is coming into our lane, but that shouldn't be a problem. And now we want to go into the left lane again. It's like butter. That was so smooth. That was brilliant. So whenever I do auto lane change on mine, it's really horrible, to be totally honest. And also I don't have the one button lane change. I have to force it and hold it and pull it off myself. Whereas this makes it a lot easier and just a lot more satisfying, and I don't know, it just feels right, because when you do change lanes by yourself, you do just flip once and then you go and do it rather than holding it and off. So it just feels a lot more natural, which is quite nice. So even there, I'm ready to turn it off because that's what I've been used to doing so much. So it looks like we're getting some traffic here. I'm going to go into the right-hand lane and set my car to 3 back as well. But it looks like we're going to be coming up to some traffic. I'm not sure how much of this you can see because it's so bright. I mean, even I'm struggling seeing. But the autopilot system is not struggling at all, and that is definitely what is most important here. So we're going to get it going for a little bit, and then I'm going to try and maybe squeeze into some more gaps and stuff and see if, like, how tight you can get before it doesn't want you to go into a different lane or something. But it seems pretty happy, just plugging away. We've got another car now coming into our lane, and it's picked it up on the dash again. And we're just sat nicely behind everybody, just following the flow of traffic in the 3rd lane. I'm not sure what it is holding up. It's probably a lorry overtaking a lorry or something. But as you can see, the autopilot is working really well. And even though this is a long left bend, I'm not getting any of that kind of bouncing that I was getting on mine, where it just doesn't seem to do the corner very smoothly. Okay, so I'm gonna indicate left, and the car says, yeah, it's all good. And we're gonna go into that left lane and continue to follow the flow of traffic down here. And again, I'm also noticing that the cars on the dashboard down here aren't jumping around as much. I really wish I had a camera on there to show you guys. We're getting a little bit of a slam on there. I'm not sure why we were slamming on. Now this car's actually indicating to come across, and I'm gonna have to take control because it didn't seem to see it, and I couldn't indicate in time there to get around it. And the car didn't want to come out. I'm not sure why it came out, because I don't think it's overtaking that lorry. In fact, it's incredibly far behind that lorry, but it's going for it. All right, back into autopilot. Using another auto lane change to get back in the 1st lane. Very nicely done. Now, I did say in an earlier video that I would test this new autopilot system to see if it will go over 70. It still does go over 70, and it still happily goes up to 90 miles an hour on autopilot. Obviously, you can't use that really on roads here, but you can use it on roads abroad and stuff. So it'd be quite cool to take one of these to the Autobahn and actually use it at 90 on the Autobahn. But it's doing it really nicely. I do wish that it did these simple overtakes and stuff by itself that you Americans have in your software. But sadly here, we don't have that software as of yet. And this is me going at the max speed of 70, and you can tell that 90% of people in the UK don't do 70. So it's very like, our speed limits, so whenever I say our speed limits are too slow, I get a load of grief in the comments. But if I'm being honest, they are too slow. This feels way too slow, and I don't normally drive at 70. This just feels way too slow, and I'm being overtaken by everyone. Even whatever that is. A mocha? That's a type of coffee. It's not a car. It's a coffee. Anyway, let's see if actually we'll get behind that mocha. So it's slowing down for it. There's no one there, and it's tucking in behind it quite nicely. So it's fine as long as the car obviously has that distance in front. I don't know if it has to be the distance in front that you've set it here. So if I set that to 7, it might not have gone through. But I'm not 100% sure. Okay, we've got some people coming out and slowing us down, so I'm gonna try and get into this right lane. So I'm gonna indicate. It's seen a car there, it's not doing it, it's waiting, it's seen the space, and now it's doing it. And it did that so smoothly, like really, really smoothly. So we're gonna go around all of these cars here. Now the services I was gonna pull off on are actually just a mile away. So that's gonna be a tough test to see if we can get into that first lane in that mile just using autopilot. I'm gonna come in here, and then I'm gonna try and get behind that lorry. So I'm gonna go left here, and then I'm gonna take another left straight away to get behind this lorry. And that lorry is actually moving out of the lane. So we're slowing down because of that car, and he's allowed the lorry out, and we're just following behind now at a slower pace. But of course, we're coming off here on the left anyway. So I'm gonna tuck up behind this lorry. I'm gonna bring it up to 1 rather than being 5 behind. But as you can see on the motorway, it doesn't do too much difference. It does stay relatively far behind still. And again, I'm gonna try and see if it will come off here, but it wouldn't do it, obviously, because it's not gonna turn off there, because it won't turn off there. So there it is. That is motorway driving, A-road driving, and also town driving through Marlborough. And I've got to say, this works way better than anything has done ever before. And because I'm driving an American car and I feel very American, I'm going to do the drive-through and get myself a coffee. I hope you enjoyed the video, everybody. If you did, hit the like button down below. Comment anything about autopilot as well down below. And until next time, thank you for watching. Don't forget, drive safe.